Asia. You wouldn't think of Asia as the perfect spot to put a V8 Supercars race, but Supercars has raced there in the past many times. In 2005 they would make their first appearance in Asia, racing at the Shanghai International Circuit, and that race was such a success that they didn't go there the next year and haven't gone since. They also competed in Bahrain from 2010 onwards, and that was actually run for multiple years, but multiple reasons stopped them from going from 2011 onwards, but thankfully they started racing at Yas Marina a bit before that. But going to the 2013 season, their schedule in the support bill for the Formula 1 series got really busy and Supercars got shuffled out, and that was the end of Supercars championship visits to Asia. But they did visit Kuala Lumpur for like a demo run for a possible visit to the street race in 2015, and I mean it's been 10 years and they haven't gone, so I don't think that demo run worked. But the new old CEO James Warburton has an idea that he put up when he first got into the office. A separate series in Supercars based in Asia. I think this is a brilliant idea. Expanding Supercars and its IP as far as possible can't do any harm, unless it's too expensive, but we'll worry about that later. And I actually have an idea on how a separate series in Asia could go for Supercars. So this is my video on how I would have a separate Supercars Asian series. Not official. So starting out, the series will be run between 8 to 10 rounds, I think, and 2 races per weekend, maybe make them an hour. This gives enough racing that you can spread out over the continent. You can have like 2 races in Japan, a race in Malaysia at Sepang, a race in China, etc. You would have the Supercars IP, so how you build the cars, the point system, the rules, I think. Going back to the point system, I would have the points exactly how it is, but don't put the final series in it. I would start out with 20 racing entitlement contracts or charters or whatever they're called. Have wildcards, and if you've seen this video, you'll know my policy on what I think they should do with wildcards. Do that. Now I think there should be probably a month gap in October for Bathurst for one very special reason. There needs to be some sort of incentive for this series. The top 3 in points finishing from the previous year gets an invite to Bathurst as a wildcard. Now this won't take places from the existing wildcards, so say for example last year had a series. Put them in this year's grid, you have 30 cars, not 27, and the 3 wildcards that are in it now get thrown out. You put these ones in it with them. And also I'd put the races on the Supercars YouTube channel so as many people can see the series as possible, especially for people here based in New Zealand or Australia. Now, what are some of the pros and a few of the cons for this Supercars based Asia series? Well, there is a possibility that new manufacturers could be interested in Supercars. The lure of racing these sort of cars in your home market could be intriguing for the likes of, I don't know, Subaru, Buick. Buick's Chinese at this point. Well, they're popular in China, but you get what I'm saying. It could attract those that would prefer to race domestically over internationally and still have the V8 touring car racing that we have here in Australia and New Zealand. And it's also another avenue for Super 2 drivers to go down. There are plenty of cases, the likes of, I don't know, Tyler Everingham, Jalen Robotham. I'm just thinking of Super 2 previous drivers that aren't even on the Bathurst grid, that can't get a seat for some reason even though they're impressing Super 2. Well, this is a case where you can still race your Supercars and maybe even catch the eye of the Supercars team still, because if you're performing in Supercars level gear like this and let's say winning the 2025 Supercars Asia Series Championship, someone like a Blanchard Racing team might be like, they can race a supercar, I'll put them in the number 7. And depending on who is building all these cars, it's a new market for the likes of your 888s, your Walkinshaw's, your Team 18s, I'm just thinking of homologation teams, but anyone who builds a car can then sell off these cars not only to Super 2 teams, because Super 2 are trying their best to not have the Gen 3 cars, but then send those things overseas to, I'm just going to put some GT teams, maybe Craft Bamboo Racing, Absolute Racing. Those guys might want to buy a Toyota or a Ford or a Chevrolet and race in this sort of series. Now, some of the cons are very few and far between. I think this would probably put a few more costs in supercars, because to get the wild cards out here, you'd have to ship them over and pay for the invites basically. But also, being a brand new series, it honestly might struggle to grow. They might not be interested in an Asian supercar series over in Asia, and the people over here in New Zealand and Australia and wherever else they watch the main supercars might not be interested in that either. So that is my opinion on what a Supercars Asian series should be like. If they do this, brilliant. If they do it properly, even better. If they do it terribly, well, at least they tried. If you like this video and you want to see more, give a like and a subscribe. The support would always be appreciated now that I'm doing more YouTube content. And follow for the next video, whatever that is.